Hi, in this part of the Django CRUD Web Application tutorial, we are focused on updating data. This means that we are focused on the U part of the CRUD functionality. CRUD is short for create, read, update, and delete data from a database. So now we will focus on updating existing data from the database. So far we have created the following app. I call it the company app. So this is the home page, just showing information about the company. Then you can click on this hyperlink customers, and then you will open this web page where you get access to the customers of that specific company. The customers that you see here in the list are retrieved from the database, in our case an SQLite database. So that's the read part of the CRUD functionality. And if you click on this button, new customer, this window will pop up where you can write information about a new customer, first name, last name, email, phone, address, and then click save. And then this information will be saved to the database, and when you go back to the main customer page here, this new customer will appear here in the list. So that's the status. We have created read functionality and create functionality as part of the CRUD functionality. So next is to focus on the update functionality. So then we will add these features to our company application. So here in the customers page, we will add a button for each of the records or rows, where you can click on the button to edit an existing customer. And when you click on one of the buttons, this window will appear, where first we need to get the data from the database for that specific customer. So if you click on this Elvis Presley, edit here, then it should show the first name Elvis, last name Presley, email, etc. That's the information that is stored in the database. And then you can change all of these fields, click save, and then we will go back to the customer's page and see that the information is updated. So that's the functionality that we are going to create in this update part of this tutorial. So before we start creating the update part, let's just go to our Visual Studio Code. Here you see our Django project, and let's start just by starting our application by typing Python manage.py and run server like this. And now the web server should be up and running, and then we can go to our web browser, click on this link, and then here you see the home page. Then you can click on the customers, and then we will see this list of customers. We can click new customer, click save, and then a new customer will appear here in the list. So that's the status. The next, now we want to create buttons here for updating existing information, but before we do that, we just need to check that we are able to actually update data in the database. So first we will create a view that looks something like this, so we can enter an address like this, update, and then a number. So if we enter a URL like this, customers/update/12 or something, then we should update a customer in the database that has the primary key 12. So if you go to this SQLite program, this SQLite Studio, which we have here, and then we have the company customer here, and then if we just select all from company_customer, then you see we have these existing customers in the database, and they have an ID 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's the primary key. And typically we use the primary key when we want to update or delete data that are stored in the database. So typically, assume we want to update Elvis Presley, then we can type customers/update and then just 1, because 1 in this case is the primary key for this Elvis Presley customer. So let's start creating a new view that updates the existing data in the database. And in order to create a new view, we need to open this file, views.py. So here we have already some existing views. We have one view for the company, that's the home page, and one for the customers, and one for new customers here. And now we need to create another view for updating our customers. So then we just create a new Python function, def. So actually a view in Django is basically just a Python method. So then we create a new view or a new Python method like this, def. You can call it customer update. And as the previous views here, it needs to have this request as an input, like this. And also as in this case, in order to update an existing customer, we need to have this update and then slash the primary key. It could be 1, 2, 3, etc., depending on which customer we want to update. So we also need to have this primary key as an input here. So then I just type like this, comma, pk for primary key. And then we get the data from our model, which we have here. In models.py, we have created a model. That's the interface between our program and the database. So then data on our model is customer, and then we have dot objects, dot get. And in order to get a specific customer from the database, we need to use this primary key, like this. And then the primary key is retrieved from the URL here. So that's this one. And now let's just assume we want to update the first name. Then we can type data dot first name, and then in the beginning or later we are going to let the customer update this information, but let's just start to hard code some information. So then just assume we want to update the first name to Jens, and then we need to have data dot save like this in order to save the information to the database. Next we can put out a message to the user, something like this. I can copy this one from the previous customer new view. So I just copy these 2 lines to save some time and change it. So now instead of new customer, I can change it to update customer. Customer updated successfully, and then go back to the main page, this customer page like this. And then it returns this HTTP response like this. So basically that's it. So now we have created the view for updating an existing customer in the database. And every time we create a new view here in views.py, we also need to go to urls.py in order to make that view available for the user of the application. So then I can just copy this previous one, and now instead of customers new, we need to have customer update like this, and then views dot customer, also a comma here, so use dot customers update, which we find here in the list, and then name is update like this. So now we have update here, but as you remember here, we also need to have the primary key, so /1, where 1 in this case is the primary key. Then we can do like this. We need to define the data type, and then pk for primary key like this. Now we should be able to enter an address like this. So now let's try if it works. So then if you first open this database, we have these customers here. So now assume we want to update this Hans Petter 2 etc. With what we have put here in the views with Jens. Then we just need to type or use this primary key number 5. So then if you try that, here we have this customers / update and then just 5. I click enter. Okay, some problem here, so let's just try to restart the server. Yeah, so I just needed to restart the web server here. So now we try once more, and then if I type now customers / update / 5, click enter, and then we get this one, update customer updated successfully. Go back to customers, and then you see this one has been changed to Jens. Assume you also want to change the last name here. Then we go back to our view, and you can also have one for the last name here. So data dot last name should be something like this. Just a stupid name. I click save, and then just run this once more. Customers update, and then /5 like this. Updated successfully. Go back to customers, which you have here. I click just refresh, and then you see also the last name has been changed. And then you can do that for the first name, last name, email, phone, address in this case. So basically that's how you update an existing customer in the database. So the next step now would be to include some buttons here for edit the different customers, and when we click off one of these existing customers, a new window will appear where we can get access to the information and change that information.